Greetings, Iain from RTO here. I can't believe it's Friday already, but it is. So Friday on RTO's names we look at some live album ranking. It's quite a popular show this is. People like live music. And before we start though, as of today we are up to 489 subscribers. We are 11 short of 500. So if you are watching this for the first time, check out the rest of the album shows. If you're a Muse fan, there is a Muse album ranking, so go and check that out if it's your first time. So let's try and get to 500 very quickly, and it'll be a great achievement for such a young, well, it's a year old, this channel, and we're doing quite well. Okay, so today we are looking at Muse's live albums. Now officially they have only ever released 2, but as you remember when we did Mike Oldfield, there is lots of unofficial, well, that's what I'm going to call them, unofficial albums. I love Muse live. I think they have, even their stuff off their later albums I think sounds much better live. So Muse formed in 1994, of course, by Matt Bellamy, Chris Wolstenholme and Dominic Howard. Matt plays guitars and keyboards, Chris is on the bass, backing vocals and guitars, and Dominic on the drums and a bit of a tech person. Now if you do like Muse, Dominic has got his own channel where there's lots of live Muse stuff to watch and listen, and which I'll pop in the description box for you, because if it keeps you up to date and you put some really good stuff in there. And when they're touring, they have Morgan Nichols on keyboards, who did it from 2004, didn't do any in 2005, but from 2006 until the present day he plays the keyboards on stage with the band. So he's near enough a full-time member of the band, but it's great that, you know, he gets a mention. So this is my collection, and when I totted it up, I've got 14 live recordings of Muse. So we'll have a look at these. I like them all, don't get me wrong, I like them all, because we go through some of their early stuff right up to their well, not the latest tour, which the new album is due out next month. We will be reviewing it, of course. So here we go. So coming in at number 14, this is a recording from 2001, and it's called Larue de Rock, and it was recorded at Saint Pierre in Saint Malo, France. On this one there's Microcuts, Newborn, Uno, which is a track I really like, Showbiz, Feeling Good, Hyper Music, Screenager, Citizens Arrays, which is a pretty cool version, Burn, Sunburn, one of my favourite early tracks, Cave, Philip, Plug-in Baby, Muscle Museum, and it ends with Bliss. This is very raw. This has got no keyboards. This has just got the guys, the three lads. It's really good. Played this one quite a lot actually, because I do like the early stuff. I like the rawness of this, so I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. We're not going to put Hullabaloo in this because we covered that before, so if you're looking for Hullabaloo, go and look at the other video. So coming in at number 13, it's a little thing that I got called the Resistance Tour. and this was recorded live in Seattle in 2010. This has got a great intro on this. The intro tape is brilliant. Voices and lots of noises, and then we get Uprising, Resistance, Newborn, Map of the Problematic, Supermassive Black Hole, Guiding Light. Never a great fan of that one. Then we get the Interlude and Hysteria, which always ends up with the Back in Black for AC/DC outro, which is pretty good. Then we get Niche, which is one of the B-sides from many a moon ago. It's a piano instrumental and it's pretty good. It's only a short piece, but it's really nice to hear it. Then we get United States of Erasure. Yeah, it's a bit Queeny, that is, but it's really good live. I much prefer the live version of this. Ruled by Secrecy, which is another of my favourites off the Apocalypse Please and the Absolution album, sorry. Then we get a thing called on here, it's called Helsinki Jam, which is them just jamming, man. Pretty good. Unclosed Desires. Again, I prefer this live. It's much better live. Got a bit more to it. Starlight, pretty good. Unnatural Selection, really good live. Much better live again. A great version of Plug-in Baby, always good. Then we get the encore for this is the Exogenesis Part Symphony Part 1, a little bit of it. Stockholm Syndrome, which is always brilliant. And Knights of Sidonia, with the man with a harmonica intro, which I think is absolutely brilliant. Pretty good album. Some of the production though is a bit off, but then again, this is not an official album, so I allow for that. But I also felt the American crowd didn't really, I don't know if they don't get them. I mean, the front row did. I mean, I've seen this on all these are on Dom's YouTube channel, so if you want to go and watch this, I think the front bit of the crowd were mental, but the rest of it, I don't know. But I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.5. Okay, number 12. This is, it was recorded in Teignmouth, and it's called a Seaside Rendezvous, and it was recorded on the 4th and 5th of September down on the beach. It was on the BBC. On here we have got Uprising, Map of the Problematic, Supermassive Black Hole, Resistance, Hysteria with the interlude, Newborn, United States of Erasure, Feeling Good, Cave. And then they do a version. Now, I have got this studio version. They do a version of Hot Butter's Popcorn. If you remember that little tune, it's pretty good. The recording of this, though, is like I think Cave and the Map of the Problematic. Some of it, I think I know it's taken from the BBC, but the others taken from fans, and the quality's not as good. But the version of Popcorn on there is absolutely brilliant. Then we get Starlight, Unclosed Desires, Time Is Running Out, Unnatural Selection. And like Muse have done over the years, they put little riffs in that would appear on other albums. Now you get a bit of the riff of Reapers on this, so this is what they were probably working on. So they bung it in the show just to give you a little taster. Stockholm Syndrome. Then a little bit of Agitated, which is pretty good. Then Plug-in Baby. Then we end with the Man with the Harmonica and Knights of Sidonia. Although this was the same tour as the one in Seattle, I think this one's got a little bit more atmosphere. I think it's because they're playing in their hometown. Okay, some of the recording again is a little bit off, but I love this. It's nice when they go and play in their hometown, and it's just nice to hear them do Popcorn live, because their version of it's pretty good. I might do a little retro ranking of some of the non-album Muse songs, because there are some really good ones. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.8. Okay then, number 11 is Live at Reading in 2006. Recorded on the 26th of August 2006. This opens up with Knights of Sidonia. What am I saying? Hysteria, Supermassive Black Hole, Showbiz, Map of the Problematic, Forced In. One of their early tracks, which absolutely is brilliant. Bliss, which is good. Butterflies and Hurricanes, which is one of my favourite tracks. Feeling Good, Invincible, never been a fan of that one. Starlight, Plug-in Baby, Newborn, Time Is Running Out, Stockholm Syndrome, and Take a Bow. So this obviously was all taken off the Black Holes and Revelations tour. It's not a bad selection. Production on it's pretty naff, but I do like it. I think I just like the rawness of it. It's not been mucked about. When it was recorded, it's what you get. Won't be surprised if this was taken off the soundboard. And I'll give this an RTO ranking of 8 out of 10. Coming in at number 10 then, this is a little thing that I picked up called Live at Main Square Festival in 2015, and it's at La Citadelle Arras in France. This is part of the Drones tour. Opens up with the Drill Sergeant and a boombastic version of Psycho. It's probably one of the best. The live version of Psycho is brilliant. Then we get Supermassive Black Hole, The Handler, which sounds great live. Plug-in Baby, Dead Inside sounds a little bit better live. I think they all do. From the Drones album, then you get Interlude and Hysteria, and they play a little bit of Heartbreaker at that. Munich Jam, Madness. Munich Jam's not one of these Helsinki Jam type things, little bits and bobs. Madness, no, not a very fan of that. Apocalypse Please, really good version. Supremacy, really good. Mercy, Time Is Running Out, a great version of Reapers, really is good live. Starlight, another belting version of Stockholm Syndrome. Uprising, Knights of Sidonia, and of course the man from Harmonica, which Ennio Morricone wrote. Yeah, really good concert. As I said, Drones, the stuff from Drones sounds much better live. It's got a little bit more beef to it instead of that horrible poppy sound that they produce on the albums. And considering this was done outdoors, the production's pretty good. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8.2. Okay, then coming in at number 9. It's one of their Gladstoneberry concerts from 2010, recorded on the 26th of June. This is the show where they stepped in for U2 because Bono had hurt himself, and U2 were supposed to have played headlined. I think it was on the Saturday night. Had to call off, and Muse stepped in to help out, which I thought was brilliant of them. And as ever, they put on a fantastic show. We have Uprising, Supermassive Black Hole, Newborn, Map of the Problematic, Guiding Light, great version of Citizen Erased, I love that track. Niche, United States of Erasure, probably the best version they did on that. On this, Feeling Good, Unclosed Desires, Resistance, which is pretty cool. Interlude and Hysteria. Time is Running Out. Nice to hear that again. And then you get that riff of the House of the Rising Sun, which they have done a version of. Starlight, Stockholm Syndrome, and then they do a cover of Where the Streets Have No Name, and the Edge came out and did it with them, which was pretty cool. Plug-in Baby, and of course Knights of Sidonia. This isn't a bad tool, but I think the wind was in the wrong direction at times on this, so the quality does change, but it was great that they stepped in and the Edge did come out and play with them, and they do a great version of Where the Streets Have No Name. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8.4. Okay, then coming in at number 8, this is iTunes Festival, which was held at the Roundhouse in London, England, 30th of September 2012. On here we have opens up with Supremacy, which I thought sounds like a Bond movie theme. I don't know why these haven't been offered one yet, because I think they should, because I think they do a good job. At least it won't be so dour. Supremacy on here is great. Map of the Problematic, really good version of that. Panic Station. This has got Voodoo Child riff on it as well, and Panic Station sounds brilliant live. Much better than the studio version. It's fantastic. Animals again sounds a lot better live. Supermassive Black Hole, always a favourite. Animals sounds brilliant on here. Really is better live. Madness, still not very good. Uprising, no, you can keep that. Madness you can keep, but Uprising really good. Follow Me sounds a lot heavier live. Plug-in Baby, Knights of Sidonia, and then they do Newborn, pretty good. Starlight and Survival, which sounds a lot better live than it does on the album. Nice production on this, sounds really good, and I think, to be honest, the tracks off the second Law album are probably the best versions I've got. They are superb, really heavy. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8.5. Okay, coming in at number 7, another recording, or bootleg album, whatever you want to call it, from 2015 on the Drones tour, but this is recorded at the Mayan Theatre in Los Angeles on the 15th of May 2015. We've got Psycho on here, probably the best version of Psycho that I've got. Dead Inside, again the definitive version. Supermassive Black Hole, a great version of Assassin, absolutely belting version. Madness, not my favourite track, but that's probably the best version of that I've got. Copylix Please is always good wherever you hear it. Hysteria, Stockholm Syndrome, Animals, Newborn with the Sunburn outro. Pretty clever how they've done that. Uprising, a great version of Hyper Music. Time is Running Out, Reaper's Bliss, Starlight, and Knights of Sidonia. I think this is a great album. I think it sounds great, because obviously the other version of the Drones is done outside and it sort of loses it, but this is done inside and it's absolutely brilliant. I like this album a lot, and I'll give this an RTO ranking of 8.8. Okay, number 6. This is recorded on the Second Law tour, and it was done at the ALC Festival Zika Park in Austin, Texas, October 2013. Opens up with a Second Law, Unsustainable. God, this is heavy. The guitar work from Matt Bellamy live, it's brilliant, much better than the studio version. Supremacy, Map of the Problematic, and then you get a bit of the new Psycho. Again, what they do, this you get riff from Psycho in this. Very, very good. Hysteria. Then Matt plays the Star Spangled Banner. Then you go into Panic Station, which is great live. Resistance, Plug-in Baby. They call them their jam on here Monty Jam. United States of Erasure, a pretty good version of that as well. Follow Me, it's okay. Liquid State sounds great on this. Again, Madness does. Time Is Running Out, Stockholm System. Then they do the Second Law Isolated System. Again, it's got more atmosphere live. Then we get Uprising Starlight, and probably the best version of Survival I've got. And then an excellent version of Knights of Sidonia. So the album, excellent. Second Law stuff is heavier, sounds a lot better. The production on this is really good, so I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 9 out of 10. Okay, coming at number 5, and we finally come to an official release. It is live at Rome Olympic Stadium. This was a live album and video package, which is pretty good. Released on the 29th of November 2013, and contains the band's performance at Rome's Olympio Stadium. This is the CD, because obviously the DVD is the full show sort of thing. We have Supremacy, Panic Station, Resistance, Hysteria, Animals, Knights of Sidonia, Explorers, which is pretty good live. Follow Me, Madness, Guiding Light, Supermassive Black Hole, Uprising and Starlight. Again, some great songs off the Second Law album, which was the tour. The production on this is great. Of course, the actual DVD is brilliant as well. I only watched it not so long ago, and I think it is superb. And I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 9.2. Okay then, coming in at number 4. This is a thing called Simulation Theory World Tour 2019. It's quite long, but it's something that Dom put together from the Simulation World Tour. Pretty good. I mean, again, this is on Dom's channel if you want to watch it yourself. Opens up with Algorithm, which sounds brilliant live. It really does. Pressure, again, much heavier, much better. Then you get the Drill Sergeant, Psycho, Break It To Me, again, all sound much better live. Uprising, Propaganda, sounds great live. Plug-in Baby, great version of that. It's a little short version of it, but it's still good. The Dark Side, again, these all sound much better live. Falling Away With You, which is just a short piece, but it's lovely to hear that track again. Something Human includes a little bit of Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Supermassive Black Hole, as good as ever. Isolated System, bit shortened, but it's pretty cool. Thought Contagion, whatever it's called. I've never been a fan of that, but the live version sounds pretty good. Then we get Hysteria in the interlude, of course. Then you get a little bit of Jimmy Jam, and jamming. Showbiz, pretty good on here. Bliss, and Unsustainable, absolutely brilliant. Then we get Dig Down. Now this is brilliant because it's done with a gospel choir. It is fantastic, much better than what you get on the album, without a doubt. I love the gospel version of that. Unclosed Desires, again, really sounds good live. The Void, I can't knock these tracks when they're done live, they're much better. Mercy, you get a little bit of the Immigrant Song on it as well. Time Is Running Out, then you get another jam which includes Futurism, one of the early tracks, Unnatural Selection and Micro Cuts. And then probably the best live version of Take a Bow that I've got, really good. Then you get Starlight, Algorithm, really good. Stockholm Syndrome, you get the introduction to Assassin, followed a shortened version of Reapers and a shortened version of The Handler. A little short excerpt from Dead Star, one of the early tracks. A little bit of Newborn. And then we end up with Knights of Sidonia. This is brilliant, put together by DomHoward during the lockdown, just to give something for the fans. I like this, and I like playing this. I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 9.3. Okay, then coming in at number 3, this is something that was recorded at the Earls Court in London, 19th December 2004. It's actually on the radio, so someone's done it, and I managed to get hold of it. This has got Hysteria, Butterflies and Hurricanes, Newborn, Sing from Absolution, which is a brilliant track anyway, Crying Shame, which is a track, one of their B-sides from the old days, Muscle Museum, love that track, Citizen Array is brilliant, Ruled by Secrecy, love that track, Thoughts of Sunburn. Then we get Thoughts of a Dying Atheist, which I think is brilliant. Then we get The Small Print, which is another good track off Absolution. Time Is Running Out, which is cool. Plug-in Baby, Bliss, Dead Star, Micro Cuts, Aquaplicles and Stockholm Syndrome. I love this. It's just brilliant. Also on here you get little bits of some of the stuff that was going to be on Black Holes and Revelations. You get some bit of Take a Bow. Great album, and I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 9.5. Okay, then coming in at number 2 is the only other official release live album. This is Harp. It was it came as an album DVD, released in 2008, and it documents the performance at Wembley Stadium, a part of the Black Holes tour, 16th of June 2007. You get a few more tracks on the DVD, so I'm going to actually give you the list that's on the DVD, because it's the whole show. It's well, near enough the whole show, and it's really good. Starts off with the intro to this. You get Dance of the Nights by Prokofiev, which for the uneducated is the theme tune to The Apprentice. Then we get Knights of Sidonia, which is great. The great version on here. Hysteria, Supermassive Black Hole, Map of the Problematic, my favourite version of Butterflies and Hurricanes, Invincible, which is a track that I'm not keen on, but live I love it. It's great live. Starlight, Time Is Running Out, Newborn, Unintended is lovely on here, one of the early tracks. Micro Cuts, how Matt gets them high notes I don't know. Stockholm Syndrome, Take a Bow, and then off the DVD you get Hoodoo, which is great. Apocalypse Please, great version. Feeling Good, sounds good on here, and Soldiers. Poem, this is just a brilliant DVD album. The production on this is outstanding, so I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 9.8. So my number 1, well, there's a good reason for this. Technically this is not an album, it's a DVD, but it's done in surround sound, and it's absolutely brilliant, and I could not leave this out. Okay, I've got a facility that I could lift the soundtrack off, and so I could listen to it wherever I want. But it was done at Glastonbury in 2004, 27th of June 2004. Opens up with Hysteria, Newborn, Sing for Absolution, Muscle Museum, the best version of Acropolis Please, absolutely stunning version of Ruled by Secrecy. Sunburn is terrific on here. Butterflies and Hurricanes, absolutely stonking. Bliss, Time is Running Out, Plug in Baby, and then ends the actual Glastonbury thing is Blackout, which is a brilliant version of it. Obviously we got some extras, and the extras on here are Fury. This was recorded at the Wilton Theatre in Los Angeles. I love Fury, love the guitar work on that. Then we get the small print from Earls Court, which is on that 2004's Earls Court, which is pretty good. Stockholm Syndrome again from Earls Court. Then they have this The Groove in the States, which is pretty good. It's a little bit from the tour. Thoughts of a Dying Atheist, which was done at Wembley Arena in 2003. Absolutely brilliant. And then one of my favourite tracks on this DVD is the version of Endlessly, which is, I love the track anyway, but live it's brilliant. And that ends it. Okay, this is technically a DVD, but when you hear this in surround sound, it blows your mind out. It's absolutely brilliant. So I'm only one mark I can give this 10 out of 10. It's absolutely brilliant. But that's not all. I've got a couple of honourable mentions for you, because I couldn't do this again without mentioning this. Back in 2019, Muse released The Origin of Muse, which is basically Showbiz, all the B-sides, Origin of Symmetry, B-sides, and some live stuff. It's quite a big box set. It's fantastic. I might actually dedicate a whole review to this, because it really is worth if you haven't got it. So on CD5 you get Showbiz Live. These were done from the BBC at the Pyramid Centre in Portsmouth in 1999. And on this you've got a live version of Uno, Cave, Muscle Museum, Falling Down, which is really good. Philip, brilliant. Do We Need This? Absolutely brilliant. Agitated, sounds great on here, it's so heavy. Sunburn, Plug in Baby, Showbiz, and then you get Cave, an acoustic demo, and Muscle Museum, an acoustic demo. Then on CD9 you get The Origin of Symmetry at Reading 2011. Finally they put it out, because Matt Bellamy said he didn't like the recording of it. No one cared, they just wanted this out, and it's finally come out. So obviously you get the whole of The Origin of Symmetry live, which is Newborn, Bliss, Space Dementia, which sounds great, Hyper Music, Plug in Baby, and probably the best version of Citizens Arrays and Microcuts live. It's brilliant. Microcuts is brilliant. Screen Age are great. Dark Shine's great live. These are all better live, I think. Feeling Good and Megalomania. Now, talking to Megalomania, there is a copy, I think it's on Dom's page, of them doing when they did that charity thing at Royal Albert Hall, and Matt plays the organ in the Albert Hall and plays Megalomania. It's brilliant. Go and check it out. I had to mention these because they are great. It's a great little part of the package, but I will do a full review of that at some stage. Okay, that's my Muse collection. Hope you enjoyed that. I do prefer Muse live to the studio these days. I mean, I've watched a bit from their latest tour just to listen to some of the new tracks, and it's pretty good. So who knows what the new album will be like. Okay, that's all for this edition of Live Album Ranking. We'll be back later with a new album review, and we are looking at the new album of Shinedown, Planet Zero. So I'll see you for that. Bye for now.